Because I'm trying to envision concave Earth, or even looking outside it and seeing the vastness of what I see as I stand out here, looking at
Yeah,
stars and whatnot, and to try and say,
it's a
this is
trick of
all.
nature. Because what is
Very
vast is
real
actually
view.
what is inside you. It's what you're able to feel about it, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
your inside is out, your outside is in. So light is bending through glass. The glass inside the container has got sand and black carbon jelly emitting from the sun, which darkens celestial sphere walls. So light is bending parallel to the terminator, which lifts up your line of sight away from the Earth, which occludes what's beyond it. It's like the sun, it kisses the horizon because light is diverging parallel to the Earth, and that's why you only see illuminated a certain like sphere of influence of like the horizon below you or at eye level, because the light of the sun defines your line of sight. Like what is illuminated and then reaches your eye is what defines your field of vision. So it creates like a virtual inverted dome.
Molly, I linked a video in chat that you can sort of skim through whilst you're listening, and it'll visualize this
Oh, okay, thank you.
concave cell Earth for you.
So,
Oh, that's cool.
that do you
That's
think
one
that,
of sorry, that's one of the
I'm
Russian
sorry, go ahead.
videos. That's one of the Russian videos that a Russian concave earther using Steven's graphics made. It's pretty cool. You linked that, awesome.
So,
I
do
just wanted
you
Molly
think,
to be able
let's say,
to
that the
visualize
flat
it.
earthers are more, maybe they don't have it completely right, but they're closer to
Yeah, both of the models are
Stephen's
right.
truth, then okay.
Both of the models are right in certain ways, but they act like because they're right in certain ways and they're wrong in other ways that they prove their model. But that's like a false dilemma, right? Because they disprove flat Earth, a convex Earther might, but they don't uh, disprove concave Earth. A flat Earther might disprove convex Earth, but they don't disprove concave Earth. So like a flat Earther love long distance observations because it disproves the downwards curve, but they never disprove the upwards curve due to light lifting away from the Earth.
Well, the reason why
Convexers
I was
love.
act sorry, because flat earthers will say that the flat earth proves God, whereas the spherical earth does not. So that's why I was sort of trying to correlate the two of them together in a weird way. Sort of,
Mhm.
it's almost similar thinking as the concave earth, because basically
Yeah,
that proves the existence of God, whereas a lot of flat earthers believe that the flat earth proves the existence of God.
flat earthers are there's kind of a split in the flat earth community. There's the biblical flat earthers and then there's the new ager flat earthers, and I guess that's the same way
Hmm.
with convex.
But this is actually
I what I kind of realized
flat
about
earth
flat
was
earthers.
relatively new to me. Um, I did not know it was real. My son actually was home on leave and was winding me up, and he called me a flat earther, and I said, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh shit, mum." So went onto YouTube, and I really did not think that it was a thing. So yeah, that's relatively new to me. So concave Earth is now completely new to me. Quite interesting.
And then you got cell Earth on
What
top of that.
flat earthers make the wrong assumption of is that you can equivocate plumb line like laterally, and that you can separate the center point of heaven from the center point of earth, the y axis. It's both equivocating, but also it's lateral thinking because it's assuming what's directly above and below you outside of the paradigm that you're in, like totally
I'm
outside, like totally above you versus totally below you. While concave Earth, the highest point is also the center point. So like that's the steganographic method of concave Earth. The highest point above you is the center point of Earth, and that's what's beautiful.
I'm
So
going
this
to
is
be
kind of like
honest.
Halo, the video game.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying my best to follow you when it comes to this. I might as well call myself illiterate. Quite dumb. I will watch the video to at least educate myself enough to when you talk about this, I can have a better understanding of it. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
let you know that I'm
It's
trying
cool.
to follow what you're saying, but yeah, It'd be like me probably throwing a lot of medical jargon at you really fast and saying, now do you know how the heart works? Do you understand? I mean, you may know how the heart works, but I was just using that as an example.
Is it kind of
Something
like
that
a big halo?
y-
Do
yeah,
you
the
need a
word
moment to
yopa.
troll there?
Sorry, what'd you say, Molly?
I was talking to the other person.
What was that?
He's not
I said, do you
trolling. It
need
is
a moment?
kind of.
Do you need a moment to ask a question or troll?
It's
A
not.
troll?
It's not a troll. It is kind of like something out of the Halo video game, kind of. So.
Oh, I apologize
I'm
then.
just trying to
Yeah,
understand like the shape of it.
I apologize.
Basically,
there's
what
a
Nealon
word.
was trying to say is that, like, instead of a sort of flat Earth where you'd have heaven above you and hell below you, um, there's a beauty to the idea that, like, in the middle of the ball is where both heaven is, and that's where the center of the whole of the universe is, and
Oh, I
it's
thought he
that
was
idea.
talking about the game. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah,
I
it's just
did
an
too.
example. So do you think East and West connect at some point?
Yeah,
In the center of the. Basically, imagine a ball, right? A balloon, and there's a center of that balloon inside it, and that's where Nealon thinks all the heavens and stars and planets and satellites and stuff like that is. Like in when you look.
And so
up
we would be on the inside of
the
the surface of
center.
the balloon.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
Did you, Neil? Did you ever have a point in your life when you're growing up that you thought, I really don't need to worry about any of this spiritual stuff. I just want to live independently of trying to figure any of that out. I don't want to be beholden to some belief system. Or did you ever have a point in your life when you had thoughts or actually did reject any of these kind of
well, to be honest, that's the default, like for everyone. Like everyone's like, oh, I don't want to. Like I want what I want now, as opposed to like what this person's trying to convince me of, like narrowing my gate to. So, I mean, that's the default like logos of choosing. So, I mean, yeah. But the point is, like, I don't actually think that should live for myself. I believe that I should seek out, the living inheritance, as in you guys, Stephen.
What was the last moment you had like that, do you think?
I mean, the last moment I had that when
When you weren't interested or you were rebelling or you had the thought of like I'm giving up on trying to figure this out. I'm giving up on trying to
I
understand
never
all these
kind of had that. I never felt exhausted mentally by like not knowing, you know what I'm saying? And I always already knew the quote, like, not knowing is most intimate. I think UG Krishnamurti said that once. Not knowing is most intimate. So like I was already like happy with what I was receiving, which is probably why I was, able to see the distinction between searching knowledge versus receiving knowledge, and then the narrow gate in between, which is that I know that I don't know, and that there's always something that I can know, but I'm
Did
also
you
never going to know everything.
would you say there was a change in how you felt? I mean, your peace. Did you feel better in those moments, or did you feel better when you connected to Stephen? I mean, which one? What was similar? What was different about those two?
Put it this way, I was in carnal mind up until I was like 14, and then I started drawing, and then I was like, okay, as long as I can just like, as long as I have someone who wants to, like draw with me, like I'm never gonna be bored because I was 13. I don't think that deeply when you're 13. Um, and so that's basically the root of it, like relationship, right? Like that's how you know you're not gonna be bored. The reason you open your eyes to seek and define anything, the reason you say a table is in front of you is because you want to know something about the table. Unless you want to know what a table is, you will never know that there is a table there. You'll never define a table in front of you unless you look with your eyes and say, I want to know what is in front of me, classifying table relative to air. Like even if it's a subtle predisposition, my desire to know, like that itself, like to know about what is happening, that emptiness, that to fill a hole because that's like what you are, is emptiness. necessitating relationship.
Yeah, I bet real deal money that this kid is smarter than 90% of the people in this room.
Oh no, I would not dispute that
I don't
at all,
doubt his
Seamus.
intelligence at all.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
Do
I'm
you
saying
think that
this kid's way above you guys' level.
Okay,
Like
thank
way,
you,
Oh, hi,
Seamus.
Seamus.
Yes, thank you, Seamus. But are you saying that because of that we cannot continue a conversation with him,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
or
pretty
you just
sure this kid's smarter than
letting?
I am. I'm pretty sure this
Oh,
kid's smarter than I am.
oh well, yeah. Oh
JMO's
shit.
favorite
Speaking of,
pastime,
Huh?
enabling
these are all
Really?
girls.
necessary statements.
Are
Yeah.
insane.
Do you think that
Because
he's
you know
using
with
his
Seamus,
intelligence wisely though?
yeah, with Seamus we're talking fucking Einstein levels here, so you're really reaching out. Anyway, so do you think that part of the appeal
Well, let me just say
to
this.
Stephen was able to have this, because now you have this special knowledge, correct? This is something that you a bit in on the secret, even though he's getting the word out, but you're privy to some pretty important special knowledge that not everyone else is privy to. That would be a big.
Well, Snuggs asked me a question, and I think I should answer. The answer
Oh,
is,
we can take it about as seriously as you telling Rye she looks good in her current.
Oh, I thought Hermes was still here. I
Um,
directed that to
I
him.
I am interested in the answer.
okay. I can't ever talk to you guys tonight because I'm sleeping at my mom's house because I got to go to a funeral in the morning. So if you guys want to beat me in a debate, tonight's the best night to do it. But don't talk over me. I think the answer is that I would rather him be dedicating his smarts to Stephen's cause than working in a laboratory for the capitalist Jews. So I'd
Agreed.
say the
Agreed.
kid's on
But
the right path.
that's
Jeez, dude.
but I'm sure you could think of many other applications that would be superior to what he's doing now, though, other than
Not
working in
that
a
many.
laboratory.
Not that many.
If you knew about Neelan's
I
past,
don't.
Have you always
To be
hated
so
Jews?
honest, I don't think
Yeah,
that's super.
he
You're
has.
all Jews, by the way. You all come from Noah. Just
Neelan, what's
Yeah,
your
just ignore the Jew comment if it's going to inflame you guys.
what's Stephen's take on Jews, Neelan?
you all come from Noah. He's the Jewish Messiah.
Well, you know, the specifically, I mean, I'm referencing like the rants that he did, for example,
About
about Jews.
the Federal Reserve owning Jews.
Well,
What about him?
unless I'm remembering this wrong,
I
wasn't there
think
like
we're
a
all
huge rant
aware of the
about,
fact that you two
you
no
know,
longer have power.
around the time when he threatened Obama? Wasn't he on like a big anti-Semitic spree at that point?
It's not about being a Shemite. I'm a Shemite, dude. It's about using your religion to validate the Federal Reserve, which is not right.
I didn't mean to derail. Sorry.
Hold on, let me look for my lighter real quick.
I mean, I got to be honest, dude. We're kind of jealous from Steven, aren't we?
What?
I mean,
What?
having a person that believes in you in that way, dude, it must be fucking.
That would freak me out,
It's
man.
just
Taysos,
no.
does it
I,
make you does it
I
make you
agree.
more comfortable to say we?
Well, I'll say this
Nah,
last thing. I'll say this
that's
last thing.
come on,
If
don't lie.
Stephen could get this amount of followers that are totally dedicated to him, imagine how many I could get with all my charisma. I'm
Holy
thinking about going
shit.
down that path.
You
I'm
mean
thinking
like
about
the
Yeah,
4 that he
do that,
has?
man.
thinking about starting a legit sex cult, homies.
All you got to do is just open a YouTube channel and put the signal out there, claim you're something different, you're God, and eventually some persons, even smart people, are going to go, yeah, man, this makes sense, and they will follow you like
Yeah, I bet I
this
could
kid is
get
following.
I bet I could get a pretty good following, bro.
Yeah, man. Just
Just make
a
sure
Should
none
we
of
sex
it's
try?
light code
falsifiable.
would be good.
But then you'd have to like be in competition with me. So do you think you could win?
You might even get
Mm.
invited.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
I don't think so, dude. I mean, Kathleen
Well,
would.
it's just too much commitment
Have you
for
guys
me.
listened to Led Zeppelin Stairway to Heaven backwards? About the
Come on, man.
opposition.
Are you serious right now?
When I was
I mean,
12, the first time I smoked pot, bro.
Well, man,
You
I
know,
must
Before
like
say,
you were
uh,
born, buddy.
in order to get like a legit cult going these days, you really do have to go to prison for some crazy shit for a little while. So I'm not that dedicated. So I'm gonna leave it to Steven, you know.
Well, the thing is, Stephen already went to prison and then he got out, and that was his chance then. But now he's back in prison, and
No,
it
no,
seems
no.
like
That
he'll be
just
there
shows he's
indefinitely.
ultra dedicated to the
Why is
cause.
he in prison?
This guy's
Oh, no,
ultra
Threatening
no,
Donald
dedicated.
Trump.
loony
This guy
bins.
has a level of
What?
dedication that I'll never have. Dude, he threatened 2 presidents, dude. This kid doesn't give a
Mm.
fuck.
Why won't you do it, Shameless?
Remember, when you're starting your cult, just make sure everything's like completely unfalsifiable about yourself. And
True, true.
that'll happen.
You gotta make
Just
it
so
like
here's
that.
my
complex,
sweet.
Seamus. It cannot be that clear or simple. Listen, man,
So here's to my
Seamus,
sweet state. The other's little path would make me sad, whose power is faith. He'll give those with him 666, and all the
Stop.
evil fools they know he made us suffer sadly.
Why?
That's
Why?
Stairway to Heaven backwards.
Seamus, you can get a lot of incels to follow you, man. You can really help them. In fact, you could be their messiah, their pussy messiah.
Bring
You will
pussy to the
lead them the
Where at?
masses.
way.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
just
Politics?
Have you ever met Steven?
Yeah, I lived with him for like
Can we
3.5
not
weeks.
like cover topics
Her-
again?
Hermes,
Yeah,
what do you
we've
think
already.
of Addison?
Okay.
The boy in this chat, I mean,
Yeah.
he's been an antagonistic Brit, but I mean, he's been nice in this
well.
chat. He's
That's
helping
how
me.
we Brits are. We're antagonistic.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever. In the past,
Can
he
I
has been
be?
antagonistic Brit.
Can
Now
you
he's been
unban
in
me
this
from
chat.
your?
He's been helpful,
Was
Can
helpful
you
he
to steer
unban
in the
me from your
conversation.
Discord, please?
was he ever a part of your group?
And I didn't ban you from my Discord, by the way. I gave you a role which mutes you.
Well, unmute me. And no, I was never a part of that group, but Nealon can answer if he wants to.
Can I get a link to your server, Hermes?
It's inside the self-promotion tab.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it
Put it
is?
in there
Awesome.
already.
Bacon Bone, give him nothing. He's nothing but trouble. Cast him out.
It's the one called Jesus's Corner. It's the third link up.
Roll Bacon Bone out of his little head.
Gus has a hard on for me.
Oh well, that happens. So, what I was asking you earlier when Seamus was talking, do you think part of the attraction or the draw to Stephen was this feeling of having this special knowledge? You know something.
Well, the special knowledge itself is Stephen itself. Stephen is that knowledge.
Because I noticed that this people tend to sort of take on like flat Earth, other type things. It's sort of like they have this feeling of I know something more than you, or I'm in the know of this, and it gives them that an uplifting feeling because you'll makes you a rather special person. Just wondering if maybe that.
You not want to be special?
Oh, I do. I'm not saying that's a negative. I was going to say everyone wants to be special, or at least to one person feel special. So I think that would be, and it could be a very positive thing to have someone affirming that you're special. I'm letting you in on what I know. This is something I don't share with everyone. I think that would make a person feel a certain way, a positive way. I think that it can go very positive, or it can tend to take a dark turn depending on who that person is.
I mean, Stephen is worthy if that's what you're worried about.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, darling.
Stephen is worthy if that's what you're worried about.
I think we all, even we give ourselves over to someone, we still have to be able to keep those little parts for ourselves. I think when you entirely hand yourself over to someone, we start to lose who we are.
Neilon, you don't see the idea of being a sheep as a pejorative, do you? You see it as like a positive idea.
No, I mean the whole concept of being a sheep originates from the Bible, right? So the only reason people say that as a derogatory is because of the Bible. You know that? No one would call someone a sheep unless it originated because somebody originally talked about corralling sheep.
Sure, but the idea, like completely giving over, I guess, decisions or thoughts, or
The
because it's
decision
not
is
just like giving
choosing
yourself to him.
his standard. So like even if you choose not to choose, you still have made a choice. You have to choose. So that's what judgment is. Is choosing him as a standard versus making something out of the vanity of your own heart or postulating something more.
I can respect that. I respect your beliefs, Hermes. Um, yeah, if you say that is good for you, then so be it. Congratulations.
Hmm.
It's okay. You're smart enough to know what's good for you, and if you want to believe
Well,
this, that's fine.
And I think maybe if you saw some of the earlier content,
That was,
especially the.
Tasteless, I appreciate that, but that was just such a fucking throwaway comment.
I mean, do you want to cover the beheading stuff, Nailon? I mean, I know that's not what you're saying is going to happen now, but
What about
it's
beheadings?
quite
I'm sorry.
interesting. Well, do you want to go over the whole?
What about beheadings?
Couple of. Can you hear me? Okay. Test. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I know. So I need to preface this because I know this is your answer every time, but I know that you're saying Stephen doesn't want to do this currently. But do you want to maybe like describe the initial plan that he had for the apocalypse?
I mean, the apocalypse is about sectioning, right? Like there are bad people who need to be flushed out, and so making like a warning, like online, saying like, hey, people who are still hiding information, people who are contributing to scattering the sheep, people who would commit indirect manslaughter by not expressing my message. Like it's a way of guilting you. It's a way of allowing you to see the distinction between what would happen if you didn't listen to him, which universally would be all of humanity perishing, as in no one goes underground, they would all die. So like the whole concept that Stephen had originally was maybe the death of a few for the life of the many. So like if we silence some people or like if it incarcerates people as where it's at now, just incarcerate them, then we can focus on people like preserving more people's lives. Not because like he wants to enjoy what it feels like for someone's head to roll off a sword. Like it's such like a pointless
Shamos, how do you want to do this bet?
How can you
Tom,
test it?
you just interrupted the really.
I mean, I know what my IQ was a long time ago,
What was
but I
it?
assume that.
He's talking about feeling joy of like
kind of hesitant to
someone's
say,
head
but
rolling off the sword.
I think it's gone down a lot because of my drug use. But a long time ago, it was 132.
Okay, so you think he would score higher than 132?
Yeah, I
All right.
actually do.
Yeah, I'll bet you. How much you want to bet? I'll
Did I get
do.
moved?
I would do $200. That he's not going to beat
Dude,
one.
you're trying to hurt me and shit.
Nailin,
Dude.
you've
Holy
taken an
fuck.
IQ test,
Did
right?
I get moved to another room?
No.
No, it's just they started
Oh.
talking about this.
But you
bet.
don't have to express your confidence in dollars because that's quite steep. I don't want you to try to hurt a nigga or anything.
That work's not allowed, and we're streaming. Fuck me.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Why?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were we interrupting hour 7 of like something about some nuance in the flat Earth or concave Earth theory? Sorry, guys.
No, he was talking about heads
No,
rolling
I
and
thought I got
off
moved
of swords and
because
stuff.
I wasn't
Oh,
looking at my phone.
this bed
That's-
shit is good content, man. Come on.
There
We should-
are
I
other
think-
subjects we could talk about.
So if he beats 132, then I mean I don't want to bet $200, but I think he could beat 132. And that's
Well,
actually
the test is it's expensive, Shamos, and to have it administered is expensive. It's about $200, so it has to be them. At least.
Yeah.
Have you taken an IQ test before, Hermes?
I think I did like in high school.
So
like,
you have no
whenever I was
idea. You have
determining
no.
if I was going to be an AP or not, but I don't know what it is.
no
where
idea.
where are you gonna go, Tom? For it?
We'll just send him somewhere locally.
Yeah.
Have someone administer
Well-
it.
No, you can't do the Mensa online.
Why would I
Oh,
do
we're
Mensa?
talking about-
Why would I do
Never mind.
Mensa? What are you talking about, Mensa? No, who said Mensa?
That's probably the easiest way to do it because it's online.
Which standardized IQ test are you doing then?
Yeah, I think they're saying like it's not like the real one.
We just find out. He would just tell us where his location is. We'd find someone to administer it locally, like a psychologist.
So, on the
Yeah,
Jordan
psychologist,
Peterson,
yeah,
on the
they can.
Jordan Peterson, Reddit, I asked what's a free online IQ test, and the people there linked to one, and so I figured that would be an IQ test that's free and online, but people who really like IQ tests would appreciate. So maybe I could find.
Is that the one where I
Get him
put
a-
in random answers and got 110?
Get
I
him,
don't know.
get him a good. Let's get boy. Let's
Yeah,
get
I'm
the kid a good
not really
online
thinking that
first.
one is very good. If that's the one you're talking
I
about.
see. So you want to? I mean, I don't
Just
know.
have
you could
him
figure
do-
out a
do
super
that
expensive
one.
real one. Then.
You just gotta make sure it's accurate.
Have him do that one, and then if you're not satisfied, do the other one. But
That's
you know,
that's
if he
moving the
does-
goalposts. That's not fair to Shamos.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
that's a really stupid suggestion, actually, Tasteless.
No, you just have them.
But
both
that
take
that
it.
would be free. I mean, he can actually take this.
But
bet
nothing is going to
on his
turn
own
on
right.
it, right? If he doesn't hit
Yeah, how
132,
about instead?
if
How
he
about
doesn't hit
instead,
I'm pretty sure my
132,
IQ
then
is
So-
Seamus
so
is just going to
interesting.
say, well, the test is bad. If he hits over that, I'm just going to say, well, I don't trust this test. What's the point? What's the point?
Well, the point is for you to
You
trust
have
the
them
test.
both take it.
Well, I mean, I think with my drug use, my
You
IQ is like
No,
110
having
now.
them both take it is stupid too, because if the bet is that
Look, the
Um,
whole entire bet thing is stupid. We're gonna
Well,
have to
right.
work with that.
whatever.
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Look, if you want to say have them both take it, and if he scores higher than Shamos, then Shamos wins. Well, he could just bomb the test.
I want to do something that is doable. You're trying to plan something that is not going to be done, right?
What are you talking
I am
about?
just trying to say,
You're thinking too small, tasteless.
well, let's see. Let's see if that is the case. Let's see if Hermes wants to go there to take the fucking test and go along with your fucking
Hermes?
plan. Let's see.
I don't really.
Stamos.
Yeah, thank you very much. You fucking idiot.
What?
Jeez. He said he wasn't down for it.
That's not what he said. He said he doesn't want to take it.
Same thing.
Oh yeah, like all the times I didn't want to go to school, but I was down for it. I showed up at fucking 7 a.m. Fucking idiot.
I have access
You're,
to
you're
practice.
quite ugly, tasteless. Really.
Boy, thank you. Oh,
Shut the
tasteless.
fuck up, Molly.
I have access to practice ASVABs that will
Look,
give them
Hermes, would you be
as they can take.
would you be willing to take an ITU test, Hermes?
Sure, yeah, I guess. I said no. but
Oh,
sure.
tasteless, get fucked, idiot.
Online. He said online, not in real life.
So?
Well, I am saying that he should take the online test,
Definitely
you
not
fucking
tonight.
idiot.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, idiot.
Tasteless, it is late. Why do you not bounce?
What's this online one you got, Joe? Do you still have it?
Yeah, I'll take the online one, and I promise.
No, there's
I'll do it
that's
seriously.
that's stupid.
I mean, I would have to find it.
Yeah, but okay. How about this? Disregard whatever my test results. They don't mean anything, but I want to take it anyways, and I want to take it seriously.
Oh, okay.
But you guys can pretend like I'm lying or whatever. I want to take it though.
Take a look.
I'm
Now
gonna
we're
try
getting
wrestling
somewhere.
speed.
Now we're cooking with fire.
Could you imagine Sheamus getting an 80? Holy shit.
War is
They must
just
want to
such
get an 80.
bullshit.
You're really against this IQ test, Joe. What's up, man?
I don't know.
You said you're against the IQ test?
It's not about the
I mean,
IQ test, Joe. It's about pushing
Who,
Sheamus's
me?
shit in for
No,
trying to
no,
be a fucking
I said
contrarian
more
and getting
the
fucking
stupid,
nailed.
not what you guys are talking about. Sorry.
What?
I thought for a minute there you were mad at IQ tests. Like,
No,
fuck.
no. Sorry.
Stupid
Sorry.
IQ test.
I mean, I think I could get a pretty high score, but I reject the principle that like this would like tell you anything. I don't think it would give you more information
You're scared.
that like I can process things.
Hermes is
Well,
correct here.
it's irrelevant because the bet is about who would score higher
Well,
in
yeah,
the
I know what
IQ
the bet
test.
is. The bet is about a bet. Like
The
I'm
bet's
saying
just about a
information.
score from a
Wanted to get
test. That's all
information.
that is. What that test indicates about you, not what we're concerned about. In fact, we don't give a fuck about regards to the
No, I mean the whole point was Seamus was trying to say I was smart, so he's saying I had a higher IQ
right,
than
but
him.
to
I don't think
that
necessarily.
cashes out in the results of an IQ test, so it just doesn't matter. You may disagree. You may think that it doesn't mean anything. It's irrelevant to our bet.
Okay.
Hermes, are you going to purposely flunk the test?
Purposely what?
Flunk the test?
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
You're
Because
so
people told you? Or
suspicious of
something?
people.
Is that a concern?
As somebody who's known Nail on the longest here, I'd say you probably don't have to be
I
worried
can
about
barely
that,
hear
to
this
be
guy.
honest.
Can anyone else hear?
I can barely hear him too.
He's low.
Probably not worried
Can
about
you hear
what?
me now?
I got him at
Yes.
200.
You hear me better now?
Yeah, what you
Yeah, I'm just
change?
saying, knowing Nail on the longest here, I'm just saying you probably don't have to worry about that.
I don't have to worry about what.
Him flunking it on purpose. It's just not the sort of thing he would do. He would tell you, I don't want to do it, instead of doing that, so...
Yeah, like previously I was saying I don't want to do it, but then Seamus asked nicely, so I'll do it tomorrow or something.
Yeah, the other thing is a lot of these like sort of pseudo IQ tests, if they're not like real, they're designed to give you an inflated score. Like that's why we make fun of these people who come in online tests, say, "Oh, I have an IQ 40," because when that happens, they spread it around. And that's what they're designed to do. Bullshit. I don't know anything about this Mensa one. Did you find it, Joe?
No, I'm playing the game right now. I'll get it when I'm done.
Oh.
We were waiting for you, fucking Dancy. Come on, man.
I didn't know you guys were waiting or anything.
I didn't know that either.
Jesus.
Well, he said he's going to do it
Expecting other
tomorrow,
people to
not
do things.
tonight, so... Doesn't matter then.
Let's take a look here.
Well, I told you another way to search is like the Jordan Peterson subreddit. Look for that in IQ test, and you'll probably find the same post.
I mean, to be honest, I don't care enough. Tom should do it.
What?
You should do it. You're the one proposing this bet.
What are you talking about?
Get the fucking online test, dude.
I don't think he was the one that proposed this.
Yes, it was.
I think it was Shamos, was it not?
No, it
Well,
was Tom.
Why should I take the test?
No, get it, not take it. I mean,
I'm not aware of what this test is yet. That's why I'm not getting it. If I knew where it was, I would just give it to you.
Sunseed gave you instructions, dude. I mean, this is better than a fucking IQ test. I mean, with this conversation, you're exhibiting low IQ. You don't need to go and take any fucking tests for
Oh,
you to know
no.
you're fucking dumb.
Wow.
Why
I'm
do
still
you
trying
have
to
to be
figure out.
so aggressive all the time?
I'm still trying to
Yeah,
fucking figure out why an IQ
suck my
test matters one way or the other.
suck my finger, Fia.
We don't care. Look, no one. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. I do not care about the results of the IQ test as proving someone is smart or dumb. I care about Shamos talking out his ass to be controversial, provocative, and contrarian. Now, I'm gonna make him put his money where his mouth is, and he's gonna fucking look stupid.
Contrarian. He was the only one
For
in the
once
room
in my life,
confirming
I was
me.
actually not being a contrarian. I actually was listening to this kid
Well,
for
then
like
you're
an
just
hour.
dumb.
And I think
You're
he's
just a
pretty
fucking
fucking
idiot
smart.
then.
I'm not saying he has correct views. I'm not saying he has correct views. The kid's
I didn't
probably
say that
being
you said that.
manipulated. But he seems to me to be very smart. He seems to have a good memory. I mean, I heard him rattling off shit that like
But he
about
doesn't.
He's been speaking this stuff for like 7 years.
He doesn't have any critical thinking skills, so how could that be a
What?
indicator of
Critical
intelligence?
thinking skills.
What a
I'm the one being
dumbass.
critical here. Like, I'm giving you new information, and you guys are
Oh,
trying to cut it down.
this
that's
kid's
correct.
smarter
He could
than
be a
like
parrot. Seamus,
almost everyone in this
Tom
room
is correct.
probably.
He could be just parroting this without any, understanding, real understanding.
Well, he just said memory. So regardless, a parrot with a lot of memory seems like a lot of processing power, wouldn't you say?
No.
It's all dumped into finding friggin' conspiracy theories. Yay.
No, man. I mean, memory does
However
not
you want
equal
to feel
intelligence.
about the word conspiracy theory.
I'm sorry. What was that?
However you want to feel about the word conspiracy theory.
Well, every time
You
you say
know,
that the world is hollow, I remember that there's over 500 people that have gone into space and they've looked out a window of some kind and gone, "Boy, she sure am round."
all shuttles are in the Earth. Light bends away from the Earth. so
No,
it
they're
looks like a
not. No, they're not. And
It
no,
looks,
they're not.
it looks like a ball from high altitude because light's lifting away from the Earth. That's
Nice try, but no.
Hey,
that's
The
the way
Earth
how it
is
works.
round. We live on the outside. We've proved it and proved it and proved it and proved it. Too bad.
Actually, what's proven is that
hold on,
high
hold on a
altitude.
second. I'm just going to be really quick. Tom, it's the very first post. It's a top link, but the very first post talks about the statistics. So I posted the Reddit link instead.
Reading it.
At high altitudes, it's actually been proven that if you model it in CGI, a convex ball, if you rise off the ball, the horizon will be off of the screen after only 20,000 feet.
Yeah.
Hermes.
Yeah.
So
The guy they put in a metal can and stuck on top of a rocket and
he was at
flew up
100,000
into
feet,
space, looked out the
and the horizon was
window
that high level.
and said, "Bye, it sure is round out there." And he even took some fucking pictures.
I'm
Okay.
not
Now,
debating the horizon's curve.
from
I'm
that
not
guy
debating.
onwards, we sent about
I'm not a flat
500 people into
Hey,
space. Okay. But and this isn't just Americans.
dude,
This is
I'm
Americans,
not debating the
Soviets,
horizon's curve.
Chinese,
I'm not a flat earther.
various other fucking countries. How many people have to go up into space and tell you it's round before you
Who are you
believe them?
talking to, dude? Realize I'm
1,000?
not a flat earther.
10,000?
I'm not talking about the
Say
horizon
me a
not
number.
being
Tell me how
curved.
many.
I'm not saying the horizon isn't curved. It's a circular spotlight due to light from your field of view lifting
We are
up away
living
from the
on
Earth.
a ball, not
In a
inside a
ball.
ball, on a
In.
ball.
In. You have no proof of it not being in because I
Yes,
have
I do. Yes, I do.
that it's
Because
isn't
tens
proof
of thousands
because you
of
haven't
people
investigated.
have created a program,
You haven't
and
investigated
numerous
it.
programs that allow me to see from the listen
Dude,
to
NASA
me now.
has articles
You
on their
can
own
go to
website.
NASA's website right now,
NASA's own website has pages
and you can
about
see
living
the
in
world right now.
you have, on NASA's own website, they have resources showing you information about Libyan desert glass and how it has a negative index of refraction. They're showing studies of prisms
Yeah.
through Libyan desert
Meanwhile, the big picture, guy's floating, repairing the ISS because that's all it ever fucking does is needs being repaired.
There's
Floating
an
along the
equilibrium
ISS.
zone due to
And when they look down, you know that blue-green thing they're looking down at?
dude,
That's the world.
dude, there's an inertial plane due to the whirl of ether inside the Earth.
Yeah,
There's an equilibrium that S
meanwhile,
levitates.
the astronauts are looking down at the world. It's almost like you're staring at a little rock and a
I'm
train
saying
goes
you
flipping
understand how
past
gravity
you.
works, dude. It's acceleration to and from the center, so there's
okay. It's
Float.
not.
An equilibrium zone.
Acceleration has very little to do directly with the
You
equation
have
of
no
gravity.
idea what you're talking about, dude. You should investigate it
Yeah, yeah, I have. You fool.
on my channel because I'm the only one giving
No,
you
no.
truth.
See, because when we go to your, see, both me and Declan now have gone and we've
You're
looked
gonna
at your
have to spend a couple
videos.
days there. You're
And
gonna have
all
to
we've
watch
heard is
the
basically
video.
what sounds to us like. That's all
I
we
don't fucking
freaking
care what it
heard.
sounds like to you.
Okay.
What it sounds to you is not the truth because you don't know the
Yeah,
truth.
well, except that there's no proof in
Spend
there's
some
no
time,
proof in there.
humble
All right.
yourself.
There's no
Spend some
proof
time
in
and
there.
humble yourself. Just
Yeah.
spend some time and humble yourself.
No, it's
Just listen to this, okay?
I don't need to be made humble by someone who can't
Felix
prove anything he
Baumgartner footage,
says.
that high altitude Felix Baumgartner free fall footage, that's at 100,000 feet, dude. The horizon is at eye level. It is curved. That's because light is lifting away from the earth, creating a spotlight
It
below
curves
you,
away.
but it's still
Doesn't curve towards.
if it was
It
convex.
curves away. Doesn't curve towards.
We've proven this with mathematics and CGI. Steven has modeled it on the channel. If you rise a camera off of a ball only after 20,000 feet, the horizon will be off the screen. The camera isn't pointed down until after he jumps. And then there's also footage with
Hey,
rockets going
Ride.
straight up.
Hey, Ride. Make a wish and blow me, Ride. This isn't rhetoric.
More
It's
than
basic science.
The horizon rises for more than 50,000 feet with rocket footage as well.
Oh,
It only
God,
starts to curve at
that's
100.
got nothing to do with whether or not the world is round.
Higher. That has
Just because the
everything to do with
horizon is
it.
higher or lower than you say it is, it has
aren't
nothing to
listening
do
to
with
what
the
I'm saying,
fact that the
dude.
world is round.
You aren't listening to what I'm saying. Proving with mathematics.
How many people have to
CGI.
go up into space and tell you it's round before you believe them?
even
No,
yelling
just
right now.
answer that question. How many people would have
I'm
to go
not
up
even
into
yelling
space
right now.
and
Just let me
see?
say
He won't answer the damn question, and I'll fucking lean on it.
He won't.
How many people will?
You can leave out.
How
Fuck,
many
if you
people
want to
would
listen
have to
to
go up into space and
I'll give it to you.
how many?
Right now, you're just reflecting.
500?
I'm saying after only
1,000?
20,000 feet, the screen.
15,000 people?
That's all. If you have an
How about
8,000 mile
20,000? How about when we have extra? How about we have when we have extraplanetary colonies?
People cannot hear what I'm saying. When
How
you
about
talk
when we have
over.
colonies on the moon or on Mars? Will you believe it then?
If you model a 8,000 mile wide convex ball and then lift a camera off it 20,000 feet with a camera that is only 6 inches wide, the horizon will be off the screen after only 20,000 feet. I've proven this. Steven has proven this with CGI on
None
video.
of that changes the fact
Okay?
that the Earth
Felix
is round.
Baumgartner is at 100,000 feet,
And
meaning
none
the
of it
horizon
changes the
is
fact that
higher.
we're on the outside.
That means you're on the inside, and the
All right,
inclination of light is a deposit.
You have two experienced facts.
It proves light
You
is
have
bending.
two
Dude.
lived
It
facts.
proves light is bending. Dude, listen to what I'm saying. It proves light is bending. It proves light is bending. The computer model has straight light.
Yeah, nobody says
93 million miles
light
away.
doesn't bend.
You can model that in 3D.
Great,
Straight light
fantastic.
means
So
it's not straight
at
light.
what point does
It means
at
light
what
is
point does
curving,
the
dude.
pure math have to give way to actual experience?
It means that light is curving, dude.
Yeah,
At what
this
point?
is it's not going to go anywhere, guys.
500 people.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue that anymore.
No.
You can argue with
500
yourself
people have gone into space. 500 people.
and
I've
all
got it.
inside the Earth. Space is inside the Earth. Inner
No, it's
space
not.
is inside
They've
the
looked
Earth.
out. They've said there's a curvature and it's away from us.
Out is in.
No, it's
There's
not.
no out. It's all in.
No, it isn't. You can't
Outer
just
space.
declare that.
Nayland, do you think this room has intelligent people in it?
I think you're all intelligent. You're all made in the image of God, which is
Sure. So
incredibly
my question:
intelligent. You're artificial intelligent.
What's going to happen, or how would you feel about, I don't know, spending days, weeks, I don't know, in here trying to convince everybody of this information, trying to share this message, and absolutely not one single person ever goes along with it, and actually has reasons, really strong reasons not to? What would you think of that?
Strong reasons not to is ad populum consensus. You understand that, right?
Is what?
So like two witnesses
ad
until
populum.
that's what's recorded.
Ad
Two
populum
witnesses
only
until
works
it's
if you're just appealing to
the world.
masses of people. We're not appealing to masses of
Like
people.
lightning from east
We're
to west.
appealing to astrophysicists and astronauts.
Those people know that you live inside the Earth.
You feel like
Astronauts
you
know
wasted your time in this room if it turned. Would you feel you wasted your time in here?
No, I never would.
Doing all this, if not. No.
No.
Okay. I don't know. It just seems
If
like
you have never been exposed to the idea that outer space is not inner space, then I'm not wasting my time. This is a big fucking deal. heaven.
Yeah,
We know the
except that
location of heaven, physical, tangible location of heaven inside the earth. That's a big fucking deal. And I'm the only one who's going to tell you that. So even if you like
well,
tell
you're
yourself,
the only one that's
yourself
going to try, but there's no
it's going to
proof.
be a big deal.
No proof. Sorry.
Yeah,
Like I just
there's a thing that this room, we've talked about this before. There's a thing that this room is really, really, really big on. The vast majority of the people in this community, and that's evidence outside of somebody speaking or drawing a picture. It's or
well, yeah, that's why I
making
always
a
do
video.
videos which links to evidence. It has evidence in the videos. It shows the evidence. Like because right
At
now we're
least 2 people in this room have examined your videos and found them to be unintelligible by anybody
the
except
people
you.
who are saying that, and you specifically found out about it 2 days ago and are trying to say that's win an argument.
No,
Well,
Nylon,
here's the
Nylon,
problem.
I've been saying that for
What
years.
about Declan then? Declan went and examined one of your videos while you were talking today, and he came back and told you it was gibberish.
Said you found out. He literally admitted he found out about it 2 days ago, dude.
You know what? It
Nylon,
doesn't matter. It doesn't take that long. You don't have to sit there for 20 days.
Addison watches every single one of my videos still because they're interesting.
You know what? Nobody
It
needs
doesn't
to
matter
watch
if he
every
doesn't want to
single one
believe
of your videos. Like that's
Addison,
if you listen, if you
following.
can't explain and back up your concepts with a degree of brevity, then they're useless.
I literally have been doing it nonstop, 20 like
Yeah, brevity.
past couple days.
You know what the word brevity means? Brevity.
I've shown you how prisms work. I've shown you how frequency of light would not bend
but
down red more than
you couldn't actually do a physical demonstration of any of that.
this is a physical demonstration, an infrared telescope.
No,
Tektites, you can hold it in your hand. Mega
No.
cryometeors, you can hold it in your hand. Fusion crust on meteorites. It's made of 90% pure silicon. So
they don't demonstrate any of the claims though.
you can find that on NASA's website. They're made of 98% pure silicon and have graphite ribbons within the glass.
If
Nylon,
people I'm sorry, if people did these tests with you, like if they actually tried to pull off these experiments, these tests with you, and they showed you a conclusion that was opposite of everything that you're saying, what would that how would that make you feel? What would you think about that?
What they would have to do with an infrared telescope is shrink your visibility, not lengthen it. That's literally the binary argument I'm making, is that infrared telescopes extend your visibility.
Well,
Red light would have to be refracted more.
an example of this that we were talking about the other day was we could literally go into a place, mist some water, shine light through it. We could show you how water reflects light into a spectrum, and you can make a rainbow. I mean, we could show you physically in a room with misted water how that happens. Now, that's a demonstrable thing. Now, all these things that you're describing, there's no experiments that you can actually physically run to demonstrate the things you're talking about.
The thing I did to argue that it's just water droplets is that it's a negative index at zenith.
That
The red
doesn't
is
mean
on the
anything. That
the red.
Nayland, that literally doesn't mean
Let
anything.
me say it then. Red is on the inside of the halo at 22nd degree and 46th degree rainbow halo at zenith.
That doesn't
There's
mean
two of them. It's a
anything,
double rainbow
Nayland.
halo. Red on the inside means it's a negative
That-
index. That's
Go
what
to
it
any
means.
go to any physicist and say that, and they will tell you that it doesn't mean anything.
They're credulous will acknowledge it.
Nayland, we've had this discussion for
Otherwise,
years, not just
acknowledge it.
days, right? And the problem is that I've tried to explain to you multiple times that you do have this sort of lingo, you have this terminology, and you
Primary
sometimes
thing. Why are you using that as an excuse, Addison? Stop it.
Nayland, let me
I'm
get my
using
point across.
simple words.
Let me get my point
Nayland, you have to
It's
let
red
people
inside,
talk.
not
Nayland, you have
outside.
to let people talk. Nayland, you have to let people talk.
I've not talked in this room
I'm
for
gonna
like
mute you
half
if
an
you
hour,
yell
dude.
over people.
Let me just
What
go,
other words could I
right?
use for red on the inside of the halo instead of a positive index is a
Nayland.
negative index? It's the opposite than what it should be if it were.
Nayland, I'm giving you one more chance to let this guy talk, and I'm gonna have to mute you until he can get a statement out.
I was just trying to finish my statement. He can say it now.
No, his statement. His statement.
Nayland,
Go
bear
ahead.
with me. I'll be quick. Thank you. Yeah, you can't say the argument that you've only just come across this the last couple of days and they're not given enough time to it, because I've been looking at this stuff for years, Nayland.
And I said you watch every one of my videos. It's
Nayland,
interesting.
please.
It doesn't matter.
Nayland.
Go ahead, Addison.
Thank you. I've made the point to Nayland multiple times that he does this sort of terminology. He co-opts words and uses them in different ways to how their acceptable usages are, used in science or philosophy or other fields. And I don't know how to get this across to Nayland, but he doesn't seem to understand that idea. And so when Nalon directs people towards his videos, it's going to be gish galloping, and it's going to be all these terms that are just sort of thrown without any context or explanation. And Nalon can actually explain it in simple terms. The answer that I usually got back was, it's my fault for not taking the time to go and look at how he means these words to be used. But yeah, you can't use the excuse, Nalon, that they haven't looked at it long enough, because no matter how much I look at it, I still don't understand some of the usages that you use.
Okay, one. How can you argue about terminology, and you just use the word gish gallop, which I've heard 3 different people use that term now to try to gaslight what I'm saying. So 2, what I'm saying is not complicated whatsoever. 3, just because someone has slightly investigated something doesn't mean they've embraced the credulous binary argument and are still using
What do you mean
straw
by
man's
binary argument?
Binary meaning red on the inside implies it's not a positive index, meaning it has to
See,
be at
that
least a
doesn't make
negative
any
index.
sense.
A
That
convex
doesn't make
atmosphere
any
cannot have a
sense.
negative index. You
Doesn't
have
make
to
any
look at that. You have to be critical to that. I don't care if you say it doesn't make sense, because I know that that's truth.
If you're the only person in the world saying that,
It
and
does
there's
not
other
matter if
people
I'm the only
telling
person
you,
in the world who's going to acknowledge
right,
truth or not. If truth is truth, it's truth. That's why there's only 2 witnesses. Just because you don't
that's
want to
a pro-
acknowledge something doesn't mean it's not
there's a
true.
problem with that. There's a problem with that, Hermes.
No, there's not. That's literally what makes
If I
truth
start,
true. It has nothing to do with
Nilin,
popular
if I
consensus.
start speaking
No.
to you in Latin, right, I'm going to be making sense to myself, but you're going to have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about, right? And no matter how much you
It doesn't matter
listen to
if
me,
you have no
listen to me,
clue or
please.
metric to understand.
Listen
You
to
need
me,
to look
please. I'll
into
be
what the
15
metric is.
seconds.
You need to stop asking.
Nilin, I'll be 15
for
seconds.
Go ahead, Addison.
No matter how much no matter how much I get you to sit there and listen to me speak in Latin, maybe you'll pick up a few phrases, and that's what sort of happens with me. I sort of understand what you're saying sometimes, but you're not going to be able to understand everything that I'm saying with all the context and all the other stuff that that you're not explaining.
See, Addison, that's where you fuck up, because I'm not speaking Latin. I'm speaking English. And just because you don't know certain English words, and because of the fact that you've been researching me for a long time, like you say, you have no excuse not to have looked those words up yourself and still look for excuses to listen to words I'm saying, knowing that you don't know what those words mean, and then not looking it up.
Because of your insecurities, Addison.
These words
Well,
aren't even
and at this point,
No,
we've let you
Hermes,
speak for.
do you know what makes a great teacher? Is being able to explain something simply to a person. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's Einstein. That's Einstein.
What makes you a good student and not a failing student is being able to rise up to the standard of the teacher. That's also a thing you need to consider.
Okay, if you have a teacher that's going to come in first day off the shoot and start
This isn't the first
speaking
day.
in terminologies that you're using right now, how do you expect that student to learn? You have to give time for that person to grow and to learn.
Have you been to college?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have 2 degrees actually. Thank you.
Like, they got to introduce all the stuff at first. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of stuff, and then you start slow. But like what I'm saying, starting with you, this isn't even like a lot of stuff. This is a difference between an inside of a dome or the outside of a dome.
Okay.
So a negative energy on the outside of the dome.
We have let you go on for hours, and I've enjoyed the conversations we've had that were more of a personal nature, but we've let you go on for hours with these diatribes of, I hate to use the phrase, but no, of word salad with no. So, Hermes, you're gonna let me get. I'm gonna let you.
Leave. Fine.
No, I don't want you to
leave.
leave. No, I'm not saying you have to leave. I'm just saying we've let you go on about these specific topics. And you've been going on for a long time, and we've even had people here research your ideas, and it still doesn't make any sense. Very intelligent people. So I think at some point, you have to, at some point, what a person who is, if you really believe strongly in your ideas, Hermes,
you have to stop
stop. You have to
interrupting,
stop
Hermes.
interrupting. If you really believe in the strength of your ideas, then you have to believe in the strength of your ideas, and you have to get off the repeating train and let people go and research it. If people have questions that are specific questions, it'd be really great if you'd engage them specifically and not revert back to the script. Is what I'm saying.
It's one thing. Generalize things after I specify them. I've already specified them, and then you regeneralize it. I specified already what we're talking about. One thing. The inside of the glass or the outside of the glass. That's how you determine if you're in or outside the Earth.
No, you're doing it. You're doing it again. You're doing exactly what I asked you not to do, and that I don't think you need to do.
Now that it's in your mind, you know the difference.
No.
Is light.
You would need to poll the room and see if anybody is willing to accept any of the ideas that you're talking about, and I guarantee you the answer would be
everyone
no.
else in the room is thinking.
What I
Your
care-
thoughts are not everyone else's thoughts.
Hermes, what I care is the implication. Let's say that is the case. Hermes. But you could say, okay, let's not even worry about that. Let's grant that it is concave. But then you draw a conclusion from it, right? You say, oh, it is concave, therefore Steve is God. What the fuck is that supposed to mean, man?
Okay, here I have to say something that Hermes, you just said, I don't care if you're getting or not. Well, if your task is to spread the word and let people know these things, then you do need to care, and then it is
No,
you
I
having
said
a
I
you
don't
to.
care what
But let me
his
finish.
thoughts. I care what
You-
your thoughts are. I don't care what his thoughts about your thoughts are.
Okay. The thing of it is, though, is when a person is saying, "I don't understand," you have to take into consideration if that person is saying, "I don't understand," even if I watch video and say, "I still don't understand,"
That
then
makes you
it
dumb,
then
Molly.
becomes tasteless.
In his mind, in his mind.
No.
I'm not saying you are. No, I'm saying in his mind. He said, "Oh, you just don't have the information for you to make sense out of this knowledge." And
You.
you
I
understand?
mean,
This
this
is
is
very
like the
simple.
third time. No, this is the third time that you've done that, and I've completely lost my train of thought. Thank you. Why don't you take over?
Okay, no worries. I do have a question,
good.
Hermes. This question will settle the score, whether you
May I
are
respond
a
to Molly
genius or
before I
not.
listen to you?
This is very fucking simple. Dude.
Can I respond
it is
to Molly
a simple
before I listen
question
to
that I
Let
want.
let him address Molly. That's fine. Let him address
you.
Molly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
So,
I'm here.
helping people understand things, I do. The specific thing I've been arguing is that that guy has an excuse. Actually, like embracing what is binary about the argument, terminology, as in that is a cop out. And his attitude is, it's on you. It's that any sort of relationship or reception of information doesn't require you at least acknowledging the standard that is already there. Like, yes, I can try to equate what I'm saying to something that to offer me something that I can make a connection to. Saying something, you can't just say, oh, that's terminology, that means nothing. You have to show me where the parts that make sense to you and where the part specifically that doesn't make sense to you. Because so far, what I've explained isn't very complicated to me. It's just a version of the direction of light. So like if a rainbow starts from one color and ends on another color, starts at the end and ends at the beginning.
If anybody took your information and couldn't do anything with it in a scientific nature, could not use it to build GPS devices, couldn't use it to build any kind of technology. If they took any of this information and couldn't use it to do anything, what would that tell you? What would that tell you?
We can, though. The reason we have GPS is because of angle of incidence and angle of reflection.
But it has
Off of
nothing
the
to do with what
ionosphere
you're.
because it's a diverging lens. It literally has exactly what I do because it's a diverging.
You're adapting your terminology to it, but that's specifically not what it does.
It's literally one to one. You're just doing exactly what I said that you do, which is just saying terminology to deflect. It's about what I'm talking about.
No.
Reflection, as in it bounces off, it diverges instead of converging because it's not a atmosphere.
Hello?
It's concave.
Tom, can you
It's
mute,
bouncing
please?
off the outside.
What?
Oh, not you. The
Of the
Tom down at the
ionosphere.
bottom. Sorry.
Radio wave propagation. We have videos on it showing how the radio waves propagate. It's how we have GPS. It's all low RAM.
Have any schools acknowledged any of your theories, any of your information? Has any of it been used in any kind of to prove anything outside of you saying
Yes, we have cloud
outside of
cloaking.
you and Steve saying it?
Yes, we have cloud cloaking, acoustic levitating UFOs made by the military, not aliens,
Okay,
made by the
where's your
military.
evidence of that? Where's the evidence of that? Where's the evidence of
I
that?
have photos. I can show you them later. But there's pictures of triangle-shaped aircraft that can cloak
Okay,
themselves by
okay, all
ejecting
right.
clouds in front of them.
Yeah.
And so they literally look like a triangle cloud. They were doing flybys of them during the 4th of July 7-4 parade at the Washington Memorial. There was a big triangle cloud right above the thing, and then it moved later.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
A
there's
cloud
also
a cloud
Wait,
moved.
please, I gotta go, but I
a
want to ask this
triangle.
question, please. Give me a chance to ask this question, please. So,
And the
Hermes,
reason
can
it
you?
can acoustically levitate is because it's reverberating sound pressure.
That sounds good. Sounds reasonable. Now, Hermes, can I ask you a question then?
Go ahead.
This question is going to clear up the case whether you're genius or not. Okay, it's just one question, right? You can take your time and answer the question. Okay, are you ready? Hermes, are you ready?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Give me the name of a liquid, right, that turns into a solid when you applied heat.
Mercury.
False.
Bitch.
That's false.
Did you
Think
hear my
about
answer?
it. Yeah,
Mercury.
no, that's false.
Did he
I
just
am
call you?
mercury. That is
I
the
hate
liquid
to
that
call
turns
this
into solid when
He
you put
said
pressure on it.
bitch. He said bitch.
He called you a bitch.
Mercury is the liquid that turns to a solid when you put pressure on it.
Give me
The mercurial
the name of the liquid that it is not mercury that turns into a solid when you applied heat.
Now you're moving the goalpost?
It is
No,
not
it's the
moving the
same.
goalpost.
It's the same question.
Think about it.
Mercury is the first solution. It's how water was created.
Yeah, but it
Divided
is not
water.
mercury. I am asking you, not mercury.
That's the answer, dude.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
going to give you
Forget
another
about
answer.
it. It is not mercury. I want you to
Hermes,
think. I want you to
Hermes.
think for yourself. I don't want you to research
Can I ask
in
him a
your fucking
question?
memory fucking thing.
Stevie
I want you
said,
to
this
come
is-
up with
this
the
isn't
fucking
what-
answer. It is a simple one.
I just want to
This
ask
isn't
you a
what
question,
Stevie
buddy.
said.
Ludic, hold
Hank,
on.
were
This
you
isn't
were
what-
you raised
Ludic, hold on.
Ah, fuck it. He's going nowhere. I just want to ask a question. Hey, were you raised in homeschooled in a very religious family?
No, homeschool, public school. I lived in a boarding school away from home for the last 2 years of high school, though, in an art school.
Okay.
Hermes, I don't want
Where
you
I
to
smoked
give me.
marijuana for the first time.
So did you
Hermes.
grow up in a religious family at all? Like Christian?
Particularly, but yeah, they were Christian.
Okay. What type of Christians? What type of Christians?
Hit the topics from 5 hours ago. That'd be cool.
Isn't that
Southern Baptist.
psychodexidra? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Never mind.
The reason why I ask is you have a very poor understanding of grade school science. And I'm trying to
Oh.
offer an explanation as to why.
Dude, it's because you think you live on a spinning ball and you're indoctrinated. Like, we all fucking know how people think gravity works and how they think they live on a spinning ball cocked like that 93 million miles away from a distant sun. Like, I know all
You
of
have to
it. I'm saying that's
define what
not
you
true.
mean by
It's
work.
inverted.
You
By
need
what?
to define that. You need to define what you mean by works. Gravity is quite a mystery to physics, actually. So, what do you mean by works? Do you mean we can observe it and measure it and explain
Actually,
the
how
phenomenon?
they say, what
Because
they say
we can
gravity.
do that, and we
Hold
have.
on, I'm
So,
answering your question. What they say gravity is mass attracting other mass. We don't have proof of that.
No, they don't.
We have proof of energy moving matter. that's example of that being
They
magnetism.
say gravity is the bending of space time.
Yeah, they're saying mass is what does that, what bends space-time. And so what I'm saying is the only way to accumulate enough mass is with a rolling wave of energy. So energy is what attracts mass or repels mass or moves matter first and foremost, not mass. So like it doesn't work. Their explanation of gravity doesn't work because it's not just a pulling force, it's a radiating force. That's why the moon bobs back and forth and librates. It's because it's radiating to and from the center of heaven.
What?
From the earth. That's why there's an apogee and perigee. That's also why there's an up and a down force. Energy is radiating to and from the center parallel to termination.
Okay.
And so there's an
Hermes,
example.
I just
Some
wanted you
people
to
think,
know that you're
hold on,
wrong
let me
about
finish my
Mercury.
science explanation.
But you were wrong.
Some people think the Cavendish.
Deepak Chopra.
Some
Stop
people
it.
think the Cavendish experiment proves mass attracting mass, but it's actually just proof of ether pressure relief because they have a plumb bob hanging next to a mountain, and the side of the mountain blocks the ether pressure diverging from that side and allows it to
How
be
many
more
people
effective.
besides you
The
and
plumb bob
Steven
on the other
promote these
side.
ideas?
So,
How many people besides you
so
and
it pushes.
Steven promote these ideas?
Like two.
Dude, I said two witnesses of revelation. How many times do I have to say that? Clothed in
Would you
sackcloth.
do you
There's
think
only
there's
gonna
a
be two on both
problem? Do
sides.
you think there's a problem with that?
I'm saying NASA knows. They have information on their website about it. All you have to do is research it and like see
No. Do you think
through
there's
what they're
do you
saying.
think that no? What I'm saying is, do you think there's a problem that only the two of you promote this entire series of ideas?
I think it's a big problem that astronomers are murdered.
What?
For finding discoveries with the
What are you
chronograph
talking about? What are you
the
talking
galactic
about?
equator.
Who's
They have
getting
proof of dozens of astronomers murdered.
What?
What?
People trying to cover up this information because they
There-
know
there
when
ain't
this
no-
information is found out,
There ain't
whoever
no
trying to get money
astronomers
or
being
the
killed.
federal reserve
Okay,
will happen.
well, let's get back
They
to
know
the other
that-
point. No, I want to get back to the original question. Do you think it's a problem when only two
Yes,
people
it's a big problem.
promote
And
such
you
a
do not
long
care.
series
That
of
is a big
ideas?
problem.
No, I do care. That's
It's
why
a
I'm
problem
asking.
that
I
you
do
do not
care. That's
care.
why I'm asking. So what?
That everyone does not care. That's the big problem. Yes.
Okay, so let's deal with that. Why? What is it that you think people don't care about?
They just aren't credulous and they believe add popular consensus instead of seeking God. And so that's make the distinction. And the sectioning is they're going to be revealed God
So
and
you
wanting
think that
God relative to what they think they
you
could.
think that all scientists doing individual experiments and then comparing their findings is an ad populum?
I'm saying assuming light is straight is an ad popular consensus. Cosmic
That's-
microwave background radiation is not ad
It's been-
popular consensus.
It's been.
Do you own
It's
do you
been.
own a telescope?
Taking
I mean,
cosmic microwave background
that
radiation.
information that we have is why technology that we use works.
I
Do you
know
own a
because you're inside
telescope?
the Earth. That's why levitating UFOs work. That's why I brought that up earlier because it's resisting
No.
acceleration inside of a pressurized container. That's the only way to levitate things is to reach
Do you
synergy. through
okay?
these
Let me put
acceleration.
it to you another way. If this information was so revelatory and so powerful, why do you think people haven't latched onto it en masse? Why do you think
I
that there
already
haven't
talked
been
about that
people
earlier. God is smarter than man. He tricked them to allow people to be fooled so that they could be smart enough to learn it later. Like it's
Don't you
part
think
of
it's a
it.
problem God is fucking with us?
It's a
You mean
part of
Steve
like
is fucking with
him
us?
making you. This is a part of him like giving you character. Otherwise, you're empty.
Yeah, Bill Hicks thought so too.
empty
Do you have a
without it.
telescope? I'm just curious, Hermes. Do you own a telescope? Have you ever looked through a telescope?
Of course not, man.
Yes.
You do?
Hermes,
They're
Steven
tiny and
has
inside the Earth.
usurped your position.
Wait, you have a telescope?
Hard.
Gravitational lensing is really just real, literal glass lensing.
No, Steven, do you own a telescope?
My name's not Steven, it's Nayland. Steven is the
Oh, I'm
living
sorry,
God.
Nayland. Excuse me. Sorry, I mean that would be a compliment, I guess, but I didn't mean to mistake you.
Also,
Sorry.
the only technology I have right now is my laptop. I live in a motel. I had one back at my mother's house, but I left that stuff there.
Well, you can get pretty expensive telescopes nowadays, and you can get software. There's a program called Stellaris, right? And you can
Yes.
run that on a computer, and it'll give you a model predictively of where all the different bodies are for you to be able to look and put the settings into your telescope to find them.
Yeah, because you have a celestial sphere, and they're all coordinated with Cartesian coordinates inside of a small
Right.
space. And
So
they
you,
have
you could
predictability,
go a
so they
long
always
way towards, right? You could go a long way towards proving your theories if you got a telescope and you could put a camera on it
Dude,
and record and
dude,
demonstrate your
I have
observations.
thousands of videos where I literally have predicted, plotted, Steven has animated it, all of the turbogrades and retrogrades of all of the planets within the solar system up till 2021. So like it's already predictable because Mars goes turbograde directly opposite the sun when it's bathed in the sun's light. Sun's light magnetically speeds it up to catch up with the reverse parallax of the celestial sphere.
So
it
have
appears
you
to go
looked
the
at
opposite
through a
direction.
telescope? Have you done any observation yourself with the telescope?
Yes, and I also have the Stellarium app on my laptop right here.
Oh my
You have the app?
god.
Like the program, like where you can pull up the celestial
yeah.
sphere, you can scroll over to like the stars
Yeah.
and stuff. All spiral galaxies are just little drain hole remnants from when the windows of heaven were opened during the flood. So like there's water and sand up inside the celestial ocean, and so now it's been congealed back together super frigidly, and so the spiral that drained is now continually magnetically resonating.
The
around
stars
it.
that we see are holes in the dome. Is that
Not
what
all
you
of them.
just said?
That's only spiral galaxies. Spiral galaxies are drain remnant holes that have been congealed back over. Stars are bubbles
Oh
inside the celestial ocean, bubbles that have been collapsed with sound pressure creating light. That's called cavitation.
Okay.
And so gravitational lensing is just real literal glass lensing caused by the bumpy glass surface of the
That's
star.
not what cavitation is.
It's
Yes, it
not.
is. What causes light to
No, it's not.
displace around spiral galaxies sometimes is what gravitational lensing is. It's not
It's as simple
gravitational
as
lensing.
this. It's as simple as this. When you express scientific ideas, when you express physics ideas that go against what we know works, and if we used your idea, if we now wait, let me finish. If we actually tried to use, if we tried to use the things that you talk about, things wouldn't work. What does that
They
tell you?
do. That's
No,
why
they
it
don't.
works the way they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Do you not realize that the reason you have like a Stellarium app is because they take a picture of zenith? That's what a parallax is.
What does that
They
mean?
measure
Take a
the
picture of
celestial-
zenith. What do you mean? Take a picture of
Zenith,
zenith.
direct, the highest point directly above you, as in where the luminary is. They take a picture of that, and then they plot it every day so that they get a star map.
Okay. I do have a question, Hermes.
That's how we have a Stellarium map.
Hermes,
The
what
celestial
do
sphere
you
is a
think
Cartesian
science
coordinate.
is, man? What do you think science is, and how do you think it's done?
Dude, why are you trying to like act like I'm debating that scientists aren't doing science? I'm saying the conclusion
but
that
what is
light is straight.
science?
And you live hold on, the light is straight, and that you live on a spinning ball. That the Earth is moving and not just the stars, which Aries failure proved, is an assumption. It's an a priori assumption, which does not affect
Hermes,
radio wave propagation. It does
do
not
you
affect
think-
GPS. It does not affect satellites. It does not. It actually, whole reason we have like airplane maps that shrink distance in the south and then point one direction
Except
and not the other.
nobody
direction,
uses the things that you're. Nobody uses the method that you're
Literally, we use
talking about to
concave.
do
We
those
literally
things.
use concave maps in a.
Andricus, please let me
airplanes use
explore this.
concave
This
maps.
thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Please,
Go
please,
ahead.
please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Hermes, okay, what do you think science is, and how do you think it's
Science is observable, testable, and repeatable.
But how do you think
Which all of the things
the
I'm saying
scientists
are.
reach conclusions?
Dude, you can see 120 miles in the distance. That's observable, testable, repeatable science. Just the fact that you don't read in your like echo chamber, you don't read other people telling you the truth, and you don't seek it out for yourself, does not mean that other people don't do science. Just because you're like sheltered to tell you is like Silicon Valley science. Like it's literally Silicon Valley science made specifically to propagate that image, that meme. It's God's divine joke that he played on humanity that humanity's highest powers that be are adding to because they're allowing you to be preconditioned. They're allowing the smarter people to seek it out, to understand that all of NASA shit is
so
like
that's
their
what science
footage, is edited. They don't say photos, they say images and pictures.
Yeah,
So like
that's
So Gus
not
asked a question earlier, which was if you were on the moon, we're talking about building sustainable moon bases now. So
you
suppose
can't go
that you're on the moon
that's
10
fake.
or 15 years from now.
If you believe
you're
that
on the-
you're a science fiction boy.
Hermes, you got to stop over talking people when they're trying to
I want to hear what
engage
his objection was. What did he say?
It's not real.
You can't-
There's no moon bases. It's a science fiction boy thing.
Right, that's fine that you think that, but let's say that it turns out to be real, and 10 or 15 years from now, you get to go to the moon. You and Steven can both go there, right? And you can get in a buggy and you can drive. Now, if you go and you drive, and it turns out to be more than 7 miles across, and your buggy runs out of batteries and you're stranded in the middle of nowhere, would you start to think that maybe you were wrong about how big the moon was?
You would be able to see that it's only 7 miles wide standing on it. You wouldn't be able to stand on it because there's no gravitational pull to it.
Yeah, there
You're
is.
diamagnetic, so you'd be repelled away from it because it's magnetic.
Okay, so then
You're
what do you think
made of
tides are
water, so
caused
you'd be
by?
repelled. Diamagnetism, to and from the center, quadrupole of heaven. There's 4 gates holding about the 4 winds. You know, mentioned in Enoch 18, Job 38. So
Okay, so you
that's why
understand
there's tidal
biblical
pressure. That's why there's
passages are
tidal
not
pressure relief.
admittable for scientific evidence.
Right. Opposite the moon and in front of the moon, even when the sun is not aligned opposite the moon during neap tides, proves that it's something beyond the sun and moon causing the tidal pressure relief in front of the moon and opposite the moon because it's in a 2x2 quadrupole. Okay, and the sun and moon only
Can
adds
you
to that
explain what a
effect.
2x2
Pressure relief.
quadrupole is?
No, we
Explain your
can't.
terms,
Again,
please.
That's
the
what we're
Pacific,
talking about
Arctic,
right there.
Atlantic Ocean are all separated by continental shelving, which is aligning with the faces of the central
Okay,
octahedron.
Hermes, when you go off
corners
on
of Earth,
diatribes like this and somebody
30
asks you to define a
hold on,
term and you
let me
keep on
explain.
plowing through, you can't do that. You can't. You're hurting your cause when somebody asks you to define a term and you just keep on plowing through. It's not helping you.
You're just derailing, but it's not letting me speak, to be honest. The 4 vertices are